In this video, you'll learn what you should know before taking your truck's diesel particulate filter, or DPF, to be cleaned or replaced so you can get the most value for your money. When the exhaust travels through the DPF, soot and ash in the exhaust is trapped. Soot is broken down and removed from the DPF during a regen, but ash cannot be broken down and stays trapped in the DPF. After a while, the DPF must be removed to clean out the trapped ash. You should have your DPF removed and cleaned at least once a year. Do not try to clean the DPF yourself. They can be easily damaged if not handled properly. They are heavy to remove and can be damaged if they are dropped or hit with a hammer. Washing the DPF with fluids will destroy its coating, and blowing the DPF with shop air can damage the DPF core. Each DPF has specific pressure limits and should only be cleaned with a machine that can be programmed to the right pressure settings. Not all mechanics and cleaning machines are equal. Your DPF must be cleaned by a qualified mechanic with an air-jet cleaning machine that has a good track record of cleaning DPFs. Not all mechanics and cleaning machines are equal. The FSX machine is currently the only air-jet DPF cleaning machine used by mechanics. This is an FSX machine. It checks the flow of air through the DPF. The machine blows out the ash from the DPF. If the DPF needs additional cleaning, the DPF can be put through thermal cleaning, which will burn off any remaining soot. Cleaning a DPF is cheaper than replacing it. The estimated cost of cleaning a DPF, including removal and reinstallation, is usually between $900 and $1,500. If your DPF is damaged or has been cleaned more than 4 times, you may want to replace it. The estimated cost for replacing a DPF is approximately $2,000 to $8,000. Prices are dropping, so be sure to ask for prices before you make your decision. If you need to replace your DPF, there are 3 options. 1. New OEM DPFs. 2. Reconditioned DPFs. 3. Aftermarket DPFs. New OEM DPFs are new DPFs sold by the engine manufacturer. Reconditioned DPFs are used DPFs that have gone through a special cleaning process. The used DPFs may have micro cracks or other defects that may shorten the life of the DPF. Aftermarket DPFs are new DPFs made by a company other than the engine manufacturer. There are several types of aftermarket DPFs that range in quality because they use different types and amounts of chemicals that reduce soot. Poor quality aftermarket DPFs will require your truck to need more regens and may not last as long. Remember how we mentioned that the DPF system has a DOC and a DPF? It can be risky to use aftermarket DOCs because the success of the DPF depends on the chemical coating inside the DOC. These chemicals are what break down soot. Aftermarket DOCs may have less of these important chemicals, which could cause major clogging issues in your DPF. Although reconditioned DPFs and aftermarket DPFs are cheaper than new OEM DPFs, there is no way to verify how they will perform. In other words, there are no guarantees on how good they will be or how long they will last. Because of this uncertainty, reconditioned DPFs are not allowed to be sold or installed in California. Aftermarket DPFs are also not allowed to be sold or installed in California unless they go through an approval process by the California Air Resource Board. Whether you are cleaning or replacing your DPF, the first thing you should do is call your dealer and make an appointment. Calling ahead ensures that the service center will be expecting you and a qualified mechanic will be available. Keep in mind, most service centers do not have trailer parking available.
I set up an appointment.
When you go to the dealer, they will ask for your information. A mechanic will do a walk around and will check whether the check engine light is on. When you take your truck into the shop, make sure you ask for an estimate for the work you want done before the mechanic starts the work.
We're going to make sure that we don't have any issues there, no cracks, no damage to it. We'll contact you right away if there is.
If you have a DPF cleaning voucher, show it at this time. If you are getting your truck's DPF cleaned, require the dealer to fill out an FSX DPF cleaning history sheet. This should be included at no extra charge. We will talk more about the DPF cleaning history sheet later in this video. When you are getting your DPF cleaned or replaced, make sure the mechanic checks the DOC, the DEF injector, and the SCR cylinder to be sure there is no clogging or crystallization. If you are having frequent regens or continuous DPF problems, you should ask the mechanic to check the DPF injector to make sure it is clean and working properly. Check the EGR to make sure there is no soot buildup. And lastly, make sure the engine injectors are still good. This may also be a good time to check the DEF screen and DEF pump that are located inside the DEF tank if it is recommended by the engine manufacturer. After the mechanic reinstalls the cleaned or new DPF, require them to do a complete parked regen. This way, you can make sure they do not see or hear any leaks and that no check engine lights come on. It also lets your truck know that the DPF is clean. The DPF cleaning history sheet requires the technician to pay attention to your DPF and look for damage. It requires visual inspection of the DPF and a flow test before and after each stage of cleaning. Stage 1 cleaning is required. Stage 2 cleaning is only done when Stage 1 cleaning was not enough to clean the DPF. The DPF cleaning history sheet also requires pin gauge testing to look for melting of the DPF. Expect that there may be other additional costs when taking your DPF to be cleaned or replaced. DPF fittings and lines may break and need replacement. Exhaust system leaks found during the cleaning should be repaired. These additional repairs will increase the truck's downtime, but it is better to fix them before they cause other problems.
I'm here to pick up my truck.
Once the DPF is cleaned or replaced and all repairs are done, you can pick up your truck where you dropped it off.
I just need a signature here.
You should also receive a signed copy of the DPF cleaning history sheet. Payment for this work is due when you pick up the truck. Lastly, be aware of your truck's warranties. Know what the warranties cover and what they do not include. Warranties only cover failed parts and sometimes labor to fix those parts. They typically do not cover damage caused by external sources, nor do they cover all of your costs. Thank you for taking time to learn about your clean diesel engine. We know your truck is important to your livelihood. Using the advice and information in this video series will help keep it in good working condition so it can keep working for you.